Hi, I'm Darren Palmer, and this is Almost Home, a podcast about dreamers still finding their place. My career has taken me many places, from design studios to your TV screen. With this podcast, though, I'm going somewhere completely different. The incredible journalist Brooke Boney joins me today as the only guest of the season who isn't just almost home, but in between them. Having just returned to Australia after leaving her very public role on the Today Show to study at Oxford University, we discuss what defines a home during times of transition. So let's step inside with Brooke and hear how she's finding herself almost home. For the Shark PowerDetect Clean and Empty, this was a dog's house and I was just living in it. Hair all over the carpet, the hardwood, even the bathroom tiles. But now, thanks to my new DuoClean Detect nozzle with ultra-powerful hair pickup that adapts to all flooring types, this is my house again. Pups, roll around all you want, there's a new sucker in town. PowerDetect Clean and Empty by Shark, Shark's most powerful cordless vacuum. I just wanted to thank you for keeping me company on my flight back from Europe recently. Not actually you, but
not physically.
Your beautiful book. Mm-hmm. I really felt like I had you with me, telling me some really important, beautiful stories. I downloaded a whole bunch of movies and shows, and I got on the plane, I opened your book, and I closed that book when I got off the plane from Europe.
Oh my gosh, that's very high praise.
It was.
You could have been watching Handmaid's Tale.
I would prefer not to see reality played out in a TV show like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But it's just a brilliant read, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it was really, really touching.
Well, thank you for reading it. You know, it's so weird when you write something like that on your own, because you're writing in your little study or, at work or something. And then you forget that people are actually going to read it. I don't know whether you have this, when you're on TV, that you forget that people are watching.
Oh,
and so then people will come up to you later and be like, oh, I saw that thing. And you're like, how did you know that? And you're like, oh, that's right, because it's out there for people to see and read and
I actually
experience.
Recorded it and wrote it down, and then I published it for people to read. Yeah, you kind of do forget that oh, that's right, I've mentioned that in public now, so everybody knows that.
It's kind of embarrassing.
It could be.
You feel like, oh no, I've just put my journal out there for people to read. I intended to do it, everything that I wrote, I'm proud of. But you just forget that then, people you don't know are reading it.
It's a pretty close stories too, some pretty intimate stuff.
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw you at the Logies. Mm-hmm. And I think in the 5 seconds I got to speak to you, I said how proud of you I was that you'd made the decision to finish your part of your career and make the decision you made. And I guess what I would like to clarify is, rather than proud, I think that's probably a really weird word to have used, but that's the word I used. I really admire it, because that position that you held is so coveted, so admired. And working in the media for me has become such a big part of hinging my livelihood around that working in the media part.
So I kind of realised that for pretty much all of my adult life, I'd spent nearly every day on air in some form or another, putting all this energy out and speaking constantly and putting ideas out and telling everyone sort of what I was thinking all the time. And I just wanted to take it in for a little while. And Oxford gave me that chance just to sort of absorb energy and not just be constantly exerting myself. And I feel like it's sort of shifted something in me as well. I feel more relaxed or more like myself. 'Cause I think there is something to that.
There's a lot to the energy it takes you to think and output constantly, and how draining that can be, and how fulfilling it must be to be able to absorb things and fill yourself up with new experiences and thoughts. I hadn't even considered that would be one of the benefits of doing what you did.
I was talking to someone who's an actor, and he was like, I can't believe that you were on air for 3.5 hours at least, like live every day.
Live.
And like the amount of energy that takes to be constantly like thinking about how you're sitting, thinking about how you're speaking, listening to stuff in your ear, processing what other people are saying while also like thinking about what you're going to say next.
And rolling with the punches when things change in an instant because you're in a news environment and you've got to break something that's just happened and you've got to like adjust. Like I've been one of the guests waiting when something like that happened and like, no, you're not on today because this just happened. Like, cool, all right. And you guys are on air, like having to deal with it. Live is like a different beast. And, you know, as much as I say like it is energy out, like you get energy from being on air, like it's such a thrill. But like everything that you say, it's once it's out of your mouth, it's on air. Yeah.
So you don't get I'll actually I just want to say that in a different way or I wish I didn't say it like that. Like what you say is what people hear, whether or not you meant it that way.
It's got weight.
Yeah.
It's
like hundreds of thousands of people like hearing what you say when you have like less than a second to think about what you're saying. It's a lot.
And then amplify that by any news outlet or anybody that picks anything up that wants to amplify one thing that you've said that came out live.
You're walking a tightrope. And that's why like I kind of love when people have to do live telly and they're not very good at it. Because I'm like, it's hard. It's really hard. Like when you see someone like Ali do it or like Carl do it and they are masters of their craft. They're so good to be able to think like that on your feet and think about what people at home need. It is so difficult. And to be working with people who make it look easy, I think is, it was such a privilege. And it was fun. It was really fun. It's nice to look back at it fondly. Like I think if I would have stayed and still had the early alarm clocks and, you know, still been sort of tired from that experience, like, you know, maybe I would have built up resentment to it. But now I just look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, the early morning sucked, but geez, it was fun. And like, what an incredible bunch of people, like professionals, but also just fun.
I really admired the courage and the conviction that you had to decide what was right for you, the thing that you really desired to do, and then closing that chapter of your life and doing it. Not just closing that chapter of your life, closing your life. You shut up shop. You emptied your house. What was that like?
I think, like, it's funny that you say the word proud because I get that. Like, people say that all the time. It's like I don't know, it makes me feel like little. I don't know. But I get that because I feel proud of my friends as well. So don't feel weird about using that word. I think at a certain point you go, okay, well, you know, I've done everything that I can do in this particular job or in this particular role. There's nothing more, like, I'm going to go to LA for the 20th time or, you know, I'm going to go on the 200th junket or something. And that's not to say that I didn't love every interview that I did and, you know, really loved going into work. But I couldn't see myself doing it for like another 5 or 10 years. And I knew that there was like a finite window for me to be able to go and do a master's and, you know, have the experience that I wanted to have. It was always kind of on my bucket list. Like I always really wanted to go and study at one of those really prestigious universities like Harvard or Oxford. So I just thought, if I don't do this, I will regret it. And I don't like the idea of living with regret.
Bingo.
It makes me physically sick. Like even in like an interpersonal context, say if I have like a crush on someone or I think a certain way about something, if I genuinely feel like something is important to me, then I'm compelled to say it. Like to not say it would feel like a betrayal. And I think it's the same sort of thing in that context.
I had that conversation with our son recently that the pain of embarrassment is nothing compared to the pain of regret.
Yes, exactly. I think, and when that balance tips, when you know that that regret is going to outweigh any embarrassment or any like fear of failure, you have no choice but to do it. I think like the closer that I kind of got to it, the more I was like, oh, I think I can do this. You know, I can get a scholarship because it's so expensive. It's super, super expensive. And I will find work after. And, my friends and family are still going to be there, like, when I get back. But then also, like, the excitement of going over and, I'd spend a little bit of time over there because I had a boyfriend who went, and I was like, that sort of motivated me more than the fear of whatever I was going to be leaving behind. And the things that I was worried about were really practical. And so I was able to kind of like break them down into smaller chunks and sort of like rationalize my thinking. So I was like looking at the course, and there's like an economics section. I haven't done maths since like year 12, like year 11 probably. I haven't done like proper essay, like academic essay writing at uni. I don't even think I didn't even try that hard when I was at uni. Sorry, UTS. Love you.
And look at you now.
Yeah. But like, to be sort of pushed to what your limit is, I was like, okay, the worst thing that could happen is that I get there and I don't understand. Then I just have to study until I do understand, or get someone to explain it to me, or watch YouTube videos, or just keep reading until I finally get the concepts. And that actually happened. Like, I got there and we started learning these like economic terms and economic concepts. And I was like, what have I done? I'm going to fail. I'm going to have to go home and tell everyone, hi, sorry you all got excited. I'm actually really dumb. I couldn't do it. I tricked myself and all of you. I'm sorry. But then I was like, nobody's going to care. Like,
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation with so many people that, like, I live this life that I've boxed myself into, or so many things, thinking, what will people think?
Yeah.
They don't care.
They really don't care. And economics was my strongest subject in the end. But I think that's because I studied really hard for it. And the others I was like, oh, yeah, like, we'll be right. So I ended up doing better in that than like any of the other things that I had to learn.
What I'm hearing is discipline, resilience, and
Fear.
Well, whatever underpins that resilience and that discipline.
Whatever drives you.
If it's fear, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you packed up your house here in Sydney.
In Sydney.
How much stuff are we talking about? Like, and what did you do? Did you put things in storage? Did you just get rid of stuff? Like, what?
A bit of both. Like, this is like 20 years worth of stuff. And I love stuff. Yeah, I'll buy some new frying pans. I'll, buy couch cushions. Like, I'm a stuff kind of person, if ever there was one. And so it's like packing up all these memories. And then I'm like looking around the house and I'm like, I've worked so hard for this money to buy these things. And now I'm just like putting it into boxes. So it was this weird sort of, I was like confronted with this as I was going through the process, where I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to be fine. Like, I don't actually need stuff around me. And I mean, I moved into a dorm room from like a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment with like lots of space and all my stuff to a shared kitchen. I had my own bathroom.
So I've got this visual image in my head of what that might have looked like. And I'm picturing Hogwarts because I'm thinking sandstone, cobblestones, and sort of these grand spaces. Like, is that reality?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The whole town is like the university. So it's like mostly made up of students. And I mean, Emma Watson was there at the same time as well. So yeah, it's just exactly like the Harry Potter movies. There was a guy on my floor, actually, and he looked so much like Malfoy.
Yeah.
But he was not evil. Like, he was really nice. And also he had an American accent. And I was like, it kind of tripped me out the first couple of times he spoke, because I was like, are you the guy?
It sounds very
he looks
surreal.
more like Malfoy than Malfoy does now.
More than Emma Watson looks like Hermione, that's for sure, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. But so you go down to like the rowing, because they have like each college has a rowing club. And Emma Watson's like, in our boat shed because she's coxing one of the boats. And it's bizarre. Like, it's such a weird experience. It's like this tiny little town that is like a fairy tale or like a movie. And so there's maybe like a few 100,000 people who live there. But it feels like the whole world comes to Oxford. There was a prince in my class. He was like, he's a fellow of the school that I'm at. So he was like in a lot of my classes, and he like invited some of us out for dinner, and it's just a bizarre experience. Like, you could be walking home past the Oxford Union and like, I don't know, Jordan Peterson is there. Or like, I mean, I feel like every Prime Minister and President has spoken there at the Oxford Union. So you're walking around these places like the park that I used to walk around, for example. That's like where Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings.
This is the thing.
So there's a bench where he used to sit.
That's like marked.
The Tolkien bench, yeah.
This is the thing that is in my mind about that. It's like it's the thing I love about London, for example, that every step you walk on has been walked on thousands of times, and they're worn away because people have. It's a well-worn path, and these places are so substantially built. They're such monolithic things, and they still show the wear of human use. And I just find that really fascinating.
So you know what I love about Oxford? It's like, it's bizarre to compare this to, but it's the same reason that I love the Olympics. Because I went to the Olympics last year with Channel 9, and you see people sort of push to the limit of their like human capacity. And so obviously at the Olympics, it's like in a physical sense, you know, you're seeing people do these like incredible things, this crazy training, this like intense sleep and eating schedule, all just to push their body to the limit of the thing that they're the best at. And often for no reward, like maybe they don't make it to the Olympics, or maybe they come fourth, or maybe they don't even qualify for the final, but just because they want to push themselves to that limit. And Oxford is kind of the same with like intellect. So you've got people who care so much about, you know, the world and the way it is and how it got there and what it could be, that they're thinking and reading and engaging with one another to try to push themselves and our understanding of things to its limit. And it's such a noble pursuit. It's something that I just find so inspiring.
It sounds intoxicating.
It
sounds like a place where you would just want to, just engross yourself, just be and absorb and never leave. But you left. What was that like?
It was weird. I mean, I thought about staying, but it's small. And so, you know, part of the reason why I felt good about leaving Sydney and Australia was because it's sort of too familiar, and you sort of walk outside and you see 10 people that you know straight away, which is lovely in a sense, but also it's like, oh, I wouldn't mind some privacy, or like I wouldn't mind being just like a bit more anonymous. And then after a while, Oxford is like that too, because it's such a small community and you're living at the college. So as soon as you walk out, you know, you're saying hello to the porters, who are beautiful, by the way. Can I just tell you actually one story about the porters?
Oh my God, tell me every story, please.
So they, you know, like there's the Porter's Lodge, that's where all the mail goes. They sort of look after all of the running of the buildings and things. And so I lived above the Porter's Lodge at St Anthony's. And if I was sort of like in London for a couple of days or something, there was one porter, Uncle Max. He is from Zimbabwe. And so they'd sort of migrated to England, I don't know, at some point, 10, 20 years ago or something. He said that he looked up me and the other Australian girl, and he was so proud of us for getting there because he'd seen that we were both Aboriginal and like sort of looked at our stories. And he felt like a responsibility, like towards us or for us. And so if I was like away for a couple of days, he'd say to Marlon, my friend, oh, where's Brooke? Is she all right? I haven't seen her for a couple of days. I just want to lay eyes on her and make sure she's okay. And then like he invited us for dinner with his family. And he's like, I've told my wife and my kids all about you girls, and they want to meet you. And so we go around there and they've cooked all of this incredible food. And then we're just like playing cards and having the best time. So this was on New Year's Day, and I had it was like a Category 5 hangover. And they were like, come. And I'm like, okay.
You're
so we get there.
Okay, let's drag myself to this thing.
Like sleeping in the cab on the way there. And then I get there and they've like got all this wonderful food and I'm just like barely holding it together. And they're like, oh, here, we bought you girls some cider. And I was like, if I drink that,
This food is not staying. Yeah, got it.
And so then I was like, well, I have to because they've bought it especially for us, thinking like, oh, what do the girls want to drink? And it was fine. It was so lovely.
Good.
But, it was a touch and go moment, but we pulled through. But this is like the community that's kind of around
this
all
is the
time.
thing. I was just going to say that you're telling that whole story, and in my head, I'm just thinking you found community there, and you found community there from leaving everything here behind, going there not knowing many or any people.
No, yeah.
And you still managed to find community and find a sense of home there. That's astounding.
It got to like March and I realised that I hadn't seen anyone that I'd known for more than 6 months. Like I hadn't seen anyone that I knew. And it was so weird. And I was like, how have I been able to do this? Like, that's crazy. Think of like everyone you know and love, you see every day, like from the person that, you get a coffee from to the person you sleep next to at night. It's like, imagine if you didn't get to see any familiar face for 6 months. That's what I sort of realised that I did. Wow. And I was like, gosh, no wonder this has been hard. And it was genuinely hard at times, like really, really hard.
That idea, as much of an introvert as I am, that might be too much for me to handle too, I think.
I think if I'd thought about that before I left, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Wow. So not the stuff, not the shedding, not the saying goodbye to a media position, but the sense of community and human interaction with people that you adore would have been the hardest thing for you to leave.
Yeah, because I think it's scary for me to think of being so far away from people who love you unconditionally and have your best interests at heart. And that's not to say that I didn't find community over there, because I did. And I have wonderful friends that are like lifelong friends now. But it's a weird experience because you genuinely feel like, oh, like it's me against the world here, like I'm up against this. And I realized that, as much as I love my stuff and I'm happy to be sort of reunited with it, like my books and my cushions and my, good frying pans, it's like, it's the sort of routines or rituals that you have in your own space that make me feel like I belong somewhere, or that make something feel like home. But sort of over and above that, the people who love you and who you love.
It sucks to suck. Unless you're a Shark PowerDetect Clean and Empty, in which case sucking becomes your superpower. Want to see something cool? That's right, auto empty after every clean. And that means no more dirt on your hands, no more dust clouds in your house, and no more cleaning after you clean. And no more pesky pet hairs hitching a ride on your favorite black shirt. It's time to lay down the law. Shark PowerDetect Clean and Empty is cord-free, ultra-powerful, and smart as a whip, detecting which floor type it's on for the most effective suckage. So your pet's hair won't make you want to rip out your own. PowerDetect Clean and Empty by Shark, Shark's most powerful cordless vacuum.
So you're a unique guest on Almost Home in that we're in a studio. You're the only guest that we're interviewing in a studio because you're between homes. And so you've come back to Australia. You've got some of your things. You're able to reconnect with your family and your loved ones. I know you've been spending some time with your family.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like your whole demeanor just... like you just fully relaxed as soon as I said that.
I just love them so much. And I know this sounds corny and it makes it sound like, I don't know, I feel like people always say stuff like this. But when I'm with those like kids, my nieces and nephews and my sisters and brothers and my mum, like there's nowhere else that I would rather be. There's nothing that makes me feel happier. Like I could be in Cannes at the film festival or like in London at a palace or something. And they're special and they're so wonderful and I know that I'm lucky to have those sorts of experiences. But I feel happier when I'm with them in Muswellbrook. It's so weird. And I think that people, who haven't had those kinds of experiences would think that I'm being like trite or like, I don't know, like overly sentimental or something. But it's true. And I don't think it's because I got used to them. I think it's just that they don't, they shouldn't mean as much to us, but they don't mean as much to me.
Those things, the
Those
experiences
sorts
and
of
all the
experiences.
special stuff. I know it's funny, like it's something that people think that it's something to covet. And it's these special experiences that they're so unique and so rare, and that only so few people get to have experiences like that you should be grateful for it. And
I am,
and we
grateful.
are, right?
Yeah.
But the truth of it is, it's the everyday connections with family, with feeling like you've got a place where you belong that is, it's real. It's the real things, not the special things, but the real things that feel the most special. What does it look like? What's home look like there? Describe to me.
So I've got 5 little brothers and sisters and lots of nieces and nephews, and we just keep having more. They're real breeders, my family.
Christmas must be awesome.
It's so fun.
Yep.
It's really, really fun. So my sister's having another baby in like a month. So at the moment it's like I just go from house to house. Yesterday I picked up my niece from school at 3 and then dropped her home, went upstairs and spoke to her mum for a little bit because we had to talk about some stuff, and she's going on a school excursion. Then I went to my other sister's house and she's got a little baby who's 18 months and she's pregnant. And so, we were just playing, and then I had to pick up a fan, and then I went home, cooked dinner with mum. This is just what it is. And then my brother FaceTimed me because my nephew was being naughty and he wouldn't do what he's told.
So Auntie Brooke
Auntie Brooke spoke to him. It's all about the kids. They're like the centre of everything. I think I don't know, they just make you so happy.
They do. And also, does it help that all your siblings have kids to take the pressure off you? Or does it make you want it? Or are you just like...
I kind of go through phases. I definitely hope to be a mum someday, but I don't really want to put any pressure on myself because so much of it is it's like the one area of your life that you can't kind of plan for or push. You can't sort of control your way into it. You can't control for meeting a partner. You can't control for falling pregnant. And so, yes, hopefully I get to do that. But I don't want to pin all of my happiness or aspirations on something that I don't have any... I can't do anything about it.
Not on your own.
Yeah.
No.
I either meet someone that I, feel like is going to be suitable and I love them and they love me and we can have a baby, or I don't. I could have one on my own, which is a very real possibility because I did freeze my eggs. But I don't know, maybe that's that seems like it would be really hard.
It's funny because the only reason I ask you that, it occurs to me that you've got kids all around you, and that must be really fulfilling to be able to go, and thank you, I've got to go and do this other bit of my life now, rather than that whole expectation, especially on women of your age, to go okay, so career and family and kids. And I kind of feel like you went, I'm going to run my race the way that I want and do the things that are going to light me up and that are going to fulfill me. And then that's the decision I'm going to make.
I think that makes it sound like it was kind of intentional, but I just kind of have gone with the flow. I have always thought, okay, I want to be able to support myself and I want to be able to, help my family. That's really, really important for me. But, I would have sort of made allowances or made space for a relationship, I think, if the right one sort of came along.
What does Christmas look like at your family, with all your family?
Everyone thinks that they are the best chef.
Oh, good.
And so everyone's like, oh, I'll make the potato bake. It's no, I'll let me do it. We all sort of have that little tussle.
I bake a mean Christmas ham.
Do you?
Oh,
I love ham so much.
Glazed, baked Christmas ham.
Yum.
That's what Christmas looks like in our house.
See, I actually missed Christmas. Oh, obviously Christmas is such a special occasion, but having a warm Christmas where you're eating prawns and ham and a roast chook, but it's cold, and then salads and trifle and stuff. English Christmas, it's so weird. They're obsessed with I can't remember what they're called, but like little pigs in blankets. It's just like a sausage with pastry around it. Like, I feel like I suffered from like malnutrition after being there for like 6 months and not having like Australian fruit and vegetables and meat and stuff.
We do have it good here in terms of
It's so good and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Over there, it's so expensive.
It sounds a little bit like you've been doing the adult version of couch surfing. You're spending time with, with your family, with like siblings, staying at different siblings' houses with your nieces, nephews.
Yeah.
When you're here in Sydney, you're in between places. You're in a transitional place right now. Like I've found myself between houses. The last time I lived at the office above my office.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a commercial space, kind of roughly this big, one big open plan like this.
Yeah.
And I remember my son had his bike and he could ride the bike around what we had as the lounge room because it was that big.
Oh,
but it was
wow.
like there was no bedroom. There was a bathroom, but there was no bedroom really. So we had sort of beds that were in the same sort of big space. It was like we were camping it was in Wallara, so it was like, and I wasn't slumming it, but it was weird because I wasn't at a fixed address. I didn't have most of my stuff and it wasn't my home. And it was weird.
It is a weird experience. And I think like if you would have said to me a couple of years ago, oh, this is a possibility or like this is something that you will enjoy, I would be like, no, absolutely not, because I'm a homebody. I have routine, I have structure, I have my stuff, I like where I live. But being able to sort of surrender a little bit has been a pretty wonderful skill to learn, like to not have everything so sort of tightly controlled. And also like the reason that I haven't sort of chosen where I want to live yet is because I kind of don't know what I want to do. Like, do I want to do more study? Do I want to do a PhD or something? Or do I want to go and work in a completely different field? Like I kind of don't know. And so until I know, there's no sort of practical reason for me to put roots down. And so at the moment I'm subletting a girlfriend's place by the beach in Sydney, which is so lovely. But also I set up a bedroom at my mum's house. And I mean, that's been an experience. Like I love my mum so much. But like the first couple of nights, she'd be like, okay, what are we having for dinner tonight? I'm like, Mum, I'm not like here to look after you. And she's like, I thought you came home because you wanted to look up. I'm like, Mum, you're not like 90. You're fine. We're flatmates. It's just so funny.
Good for you for redefining that boundary. You're like, I'm not here to cook and clean. We can coexist.
Yeah, I'm not a housewife, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not just like staying home to like, organise your dinner. But it's funny like having those boundaries and, setting up like a desk, because I still had to write my like thesis when I got home as well from Oxford. Like I still had a couple of weeks until the deadline. So I set up like a bed and a desk and Mum would come in. So I'd be like in the middle of a thought. If someone interrupts the thought, you can't sort of get back to where you were.
Mate, I'm too dumb for that.
So I was like, there was this like philosophical reasoning that I wanted to do about this justice principle. And so I was like reading a lot and thinking a lot and, trying to like push this thought beyond what I'd sort of got to before. And she'd be like, oh, Brooke, I just wanted to tell you, that lady who used to live down the road. And I'm like, Mum, please. And so like I'm trying really hard not to like lose it. Because you feel so bad if you snap at your mum. But like you'd be like in the middle of a thought, like, Mum, please just give me a minute. I'll come out in like an hour to say hi. And she's like, oh, sorry. And she just means it with like such a pure heart.
Yeah.
So it's funny. And then like, I'll be in the bath or something and she'll just knock on the door and be like, oh, I forgot to tell you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. Like there's just no, it is. You just sort of go back to like being a teenager or a
I have
child
this
almost.
joke with my mum. She says goodbye to me and then tells me 4 more stories. And it's so predictable that I laugh at her. Like she'll be like, okay, bye, love. And I'm like, yep, all right, well, you'll find something else to say. And then she's like, oh, and then she'll tell me another story. And I'm like, see?
I mean, it is weird, but then I think kind of like what I was saying before, then you end up finding structure and home and, I don't know, like belonging in routines. And I don't know if that's just because you sort of cling to whatever you can. But for me, it's like having a lovely stretch, being able to make like a yummy little smoothie or, going for a walk or, that sort of stuff that I kind of can do anywhere. So it doesn't matter if I'm in London or Oxford or Sydney or, wherever. I've always got the same sort of things that I do that keep me grounded.
So what I hear is that you can find a sense of belonging and home anywhere that you are, as long as you've got the things around you or the routines around you that make you happy and grounded.
Grounded, yeah. Yep.
Interesting. I thought that.
And I
thought that must be one of your skills that you must have to have been able to do what you've done.
But I think all of us are that adaptable. Like, I don't think it's like a superpower or something. Like, I think you just need to kind of strip it back and then think about what it is that you need. And for me, it is like structure and routine. And you can find that anywhere. So like if I, like when I moved into my friend's place, I just had to like figure out where the coffee shop was. I had to figure out where to get like the nice fruit and vegetables from and like where I can get bread from that's nice. And then once I've kind of got all of that, then I'm like, oh, okay, then it's the same. I'm waking up in the morning, filling up the plunger coffee, making myself some toast. Like it's the same stuff. And then that feels like home. It just takes like a few days to kind of get into it. Like I think we're all that adaptable.
Well, I think you think that, but I don't know. I don't know that everybody's as adaptable as you've made yourself be. I still think it's admirable.
Oh, thank you. Are you proud?
I regret ever saying it, but yes, I'm very proud.
That's so funny. My niece is she's doing toilet training at the moment.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Oh, it's interesting because they sort of like test all of these boundaries and you're like, why are you doing this? This is crazy. Like, so I'll say something like, I'm so proud of you for telling me that you needed to go to the toilet today. Like, I'm so proud of you for, doing this like a big girl. And then she'll say, I'm so proud of myself. Kids are adaptable.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe we do have it in us, but when we just get a bit older, we're a bit rigid.
I think that's exactly right. I think we learn or unlearn that adaptability. I think we unlearn the capacity to just go with the flow.
To just surrender,
because me particularly, have this need to control.
Yeah, we hang on too tightly to things.
Yeah.
To everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that is really, funnily, one of the things around home for me too. Like, home means so many different things to me. It's not just my house. It's how people perceive me professionally. It's whether what I do in my home is good enough.
What do you mean? Like you want people to be like, oh, he works hard. He's a great talent.
No, because I'm an interior designer by trade, that I feel like my home.
I forget that people on TV have other jobs too.
Yeah. Yeah, like I got a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I think that people expect that I must live in a perfect home all the time. And most of the time I'm in a fixer-upper or a transitional space or somewhere that doesn't represent the way that I want people to see me. And that's really something for me to not have to control.
Not to be all philosophical, but like, isn't everything just like a transitional space then? Like, aren't we always on our way to something?
Yes.
Like, if we're a final product, then that's like the end. I feel like as well, like, you have no control over how people perceive you. Even if you, and I think this is especially true, like, even if you were like, oh, his house is immaculate. Every single piece of work he's done is incredible, worthy of awards, like, should be, celebrated in this particular way. If you were that successful and everything you did was perfect, then there would be people who didn't like you because you were too perfect.
Yep.
Or they would be like jealous of your achievements or something. So then, like, what do you strive for? Like mediocrity? So that more people will find you relatable or like love you because they're like, oh, that's achievable, but not like, it's a bit better than me. isn't there there's a rule where like to be like the most popular woman, you just have to be like 10% hotter than everyone else? Because if you're
I
like
wouldn't
too
know
hot,
what it's like to be 10% hotter than anyone else.
no, sure. I've seen your men's health cover. Come on, get out of here. But like, if you're too hot, then people will be like, "Oh, I hate her.
Yep.
She's so into herself."
Yep.
So you just have to be like a bit hotter. So I don't know. Like, there's no. Then you're not meeting your potential. You're not striving for anything.
No, you should strive to be hotter always.
Always.
Yeah, always.
If there's one takeaway from anything I've ever done in my life, anything we've talked about in this podcast, it's like, if you can be hotter,
Be hotter.
be hotter. Be as hot as you can all the time.
Like burn hot.
The surface of the sun.
Okay. But we're being metaphorical. What we're saying is your full potential should be
Meet your
realised.
potential, yeah. Or at least like just keep working towards things. Don't get 10% hotter and then rest on your laurels.
So you can find home wherever you go as long as you have the routines and the people around you that love you.
Yeah, I'm already living what I want to be living. I would like to have my own space again, just to have all my books and all that sort of stuff. You know, you've got like different yoga mats for different things.
No, I don't know that, but
No,
that's
it'd be nice to have all my things in
one
like,
place.
one place.
Yeah.
So it's
What-
been very weird to sort of let go and surrender it.
So what changed? Tell me, give me the advice. Give me the advice that I need to hear so that I can be less burdened by how I am perceived.
I think ultimately, like for me, a lot of people would have said, "Oh, you're insane for leaving a job in TV. That is like lovely and a fun job, and you know, it's coveted, and you've got this beautiful place, and you know, everything that you could possibly want." But what they think of as like an ideal life or like a perfect life didn't align with the way that I sort of thought of one myself. And I knew that the discomfort of staying in that would outweigh the discomfort that I experience now because I've sort of untethered myself from all of those things. And that's not to say that everyone will reach that threshold, because maybe you won't. Like, and I think it's different. I don't have kids. I'm not married. So it's, you know, it's for me to be able to be a bit more mobile or uproot my life is completely different. But if for any change, it's like, you know, if people wanted to leave their job or move house or, you know, change careers or go back to uni or whatever, only you know what that threshold is. And you don't want to look back in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years and go, oh, that was really the time that I should have told that person I loved them. That was really the time when I should have gone to uni because, you know, I'm really interested in climate change. Or that was really the time when I should have moved to the coast and, you know, my health would have been better or something. Only you will know when you reach that point, because it will feel like it doesn't matter what they think. They don't have to live your life. Like, you have to live it.
Good advice.
I sound like Oprah.
Fuck yeah, Oprah. That was my conversation with my wonderful friend, Brooke Boney. Periods of change can easily make us feel uprooted. But as she knows well, there's always a beautiful opportunity to notice what we reach for and where we hope to land. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a friend who'd love to hear it too. And thanks for joining me.